Right now, like literally across the street from a contractor panicking about a shrinking pipeline, there's another contractor who just has way more work than they can physically handle. Welcome to another deep dive on Scaling Legends.
Yeah, and usually when we analyze a cooling economy, there's this underlying assumption that everyone is weathering the same storm.
Right, exactly. But if you're a construction business owner today, you know that you are living in a reality that completely shatters that logic.
Oh, for sure. We're looking at a landscape that is fiercely bifurcated.
Yeah.
And the dividing line isn't just about, who's better at marketing or who has older relationships.
It's a structural split.
Exactly. It's a structural split in the economy. One group is fiercely competing over this dwindling pool of traditional commercial projects, slicing their margins paper thin just to keep their crews busy.
And then you have the other side.
Right. Meanwhile, a completely different group of builders is operating in an entirely separate ecosystem where capital is effectively limitless. I mean, the only constraint is how fast they can put shovels in the ground.
So today, we're going to unpack this massive two-tier divide in the construction industry. Our mission for this deep dive is to look at the explosive backlog in data centers, a staggering $100 million Wall Street bet on blue-collar labor, and a 3D printing breakthrough that is, well, it's finally moving from science fiction to commercial reality.
Which is huge.
It is. And the goal here is to give you, the mid-market contractor, a highly actionable playbook. Because over the next 3 to 5 years, your positioning is going to dictate whether your business scales or, slowly suffocates.
Yeah. And to understand where you need to position your company, we really have to look at the raw mechanics of what is actually getting built today.
Right.
Because if we pull the lens back, the overall headline numbers for construction spending, they look somewhat stable. But beneath the surface, the allocation of that capital has shifted dramatically.
How dramatic are we talking?
Well, according to Smart Business Automator's Market Intelligence Report, data center contractors currently hold 11.2 months of backlog. Yeah. And every other sector sits at an average of just 7.6 months.
That is a 47% gap.
It's massive. And it has widened for 3 consecutive quarters.
Wait, let's look at the other side of that coin for a second, because the Dodge Momentum Index, which tracks non-residential building projects going into planning, that just fell 7.3% down to 250.0.
Yeah, and commercial planning specifically took an 8.9% hit.
Exactly. So the pipeline for everyday traditional projects, your standard office parks, retail centers, basic warehousing, that's undeniably cooling off. Yet at the exact same time, you have 23 mega projects, each valued at over $100 million, just entering the planning phase.
Totally different world.
It is. But I have to ask, how is a $5 or $10 million contractor supposed to navigate that? I mean, it feels like those massive hyperscaler campus projects, like the multi-building server farms being built by tech giants like Google or Amazon.
Right, the real massive ones.
Yeah, it feels like those are strictly reserved for national multi-billion-dollar firms.
And see, that assumption is the invisible barrier keeping mid-market contractors out of the most lucrative sector in the economy right now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, no, a $10 million firm shouldn't try to bid a primary contract on a 100 megawatt hyperscaler campus. That's suicide. But you absolutely can target edge data centers.
Explain that for us.
So these are the smaller, say 5 to 10 megawatt facilities being built by colocation providers. They're companies that essentially rent out server space, cooling, and bandwidth to other businesses.
Okay, so they're more manageable in scale.
Exactly. The total project costs for these edge facilities run between $20 and $80 million.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Right. That means the subcontracting packages hit the perfect mid-market sweet spot of $1 to $10 million.
It honestly makes me think of this specific market like an exclusive VIP room at a club. Like, all the major spending is happening inside, but the GC bouncers won't even let you near the door unless you meet some incredibly strict criteria.
That is the perfect analogy. It operates almost like a credit score for operational risk.
Because Wall Street and these tech giants simply won't let you near their server farms if your safety credit score is too low, right?
Oh, exactly. They demand an experience modification rate, or EMR, below 0.80. That EMR is the ultimate gatekeeper here.
So GCs like Turner Construction, DPR, Holder, Hensel Phelps, they hold the keys to those $1 to $10 million subcontracts.
Yep. And to get into their pre-qualification portals, which, by the way, is a rigorous process taking 60 to 90 days, you have to prove your operational maturity.
And that EMR below 0.80 mathematically proves your safety claims history is 20% better than the industry average.
Correct. But you also need 3 years of...
That's a huge chunk.
It really is. But the demand cascades down. They desperately need mechanical, electrical, and plumbing trades, the MEP guys, to handle incredibly complex HVAC and liquid cooling systems.
Because servers run hot.
Unbelievably hot. They also need specialized concrete contractors who can pour foundations capable of supporting 150 to 250 pounds per square foot, which is what these massive server racks weigh.
Wow. Okay.
And they need elite fire protection trades, because you obviously cannot put a traditional water sprinkler system inside a room holding $50 million worth of energized computing equipment.
Yeah. That would be a very expensive mistake.
Exactly.
So let's follow that thread logically. You optimize your safety program, you get your EMR below 0.80, you clear the pre-qualification portal, and you win a massive electrical subcontract on an edge data center.
Great place to be.
Right, but you still have to actually build the thing, and that brings us to the binding constraint of the entire industry: labor. The industry needs 501,000 additional workers in 2026 alone just to meet current demand, which brings a massive new player into the labor market.
BlackRock.
Yes, BlackRock, the global asset manager. They just launched the Future Builders Initiative. It's a $100 million investment to train 50,000 skilled trades workers over the next 5 years, specifically targeting electricians, plumbers, and HVAC technicians.
It's wild to see that kind of money moving into trade training.
It is wild, but wait, BlackRock manages over $3 trillion in infrastructure assets. If they have $100 million to solve a labor shortage, why don't they just hand that money directly to contractors in the form of hiring subsidies? Like, why not just pay them to hire people?
Because handing a contractor a $10,000 hiring bonus doesn't magically conjure a licensed, highly trained journeyman out of thin air, you know?
Ah, right. The people just don't exist yet.
Exactly. The labor pool is physically tapped out. When BlackRock's analysts modeled the returns on a $500 million data center investment, labor availability is no longer just a schedule variable.
What is it then?
It is flagged as a top 3 existential risk factor to their entire portfolio. I mean, if a facility opening is delayed by 6 months because there simply aren't enough electricians in the local market to wire the server hulls.
Wall Street's internal rate of return plummets.
Yep, they are bleeding money.
So they aren't funding this out of a sense of civic duty or charity. They are frantically trying to protect their trillion-dollar infrastructure investments.
By funding the pipeline itself. Look, the structural problem isn't that people aren't interested in the trades. It's that the training pipeline is incredibly leaky.
Leaky how?
Trade schools and apprenticeship programs currently suffer from an abysmal 40% dropout rate.
40%? That's almost half.
Yeah, it's brutal. And the students drop out because they can't afford the specialized tools, or they struggle with transportation costs to get to remote job sites for their unpaid or low-paid early hours.
Or they just can't afford the expensive licensure exams.
Precisely. So BlackRock's money bypasses the contractors entirely and flows directly to nonprofits like NCCER, which is the industry's main credentialing body, as well as helmets to hard hats for transitioning military veterans and local community colleges.
So they're plugging the leaks in the pipeline.
Exactly. The funds are engineered to remove those exact friction points. They're providing pre-apprenticeship stipends, paying for exam fees, and offering the wraparound support needed to actually get a recruit to graduation.
So the actionable takeaway for you listening right now is really a matter of timing. These pre-apprenticeship graduates are going to start hitting the market in late 2026 and early 2027.
Right.
And they won't possess their full journey person licenses until, 2030 or 20?
Right around there, yeah.
So if you wait until you need bodies on a job site to start looking for these people, you have already lost the talent war. You need to be building relationships with your local community colleges, vocational schools, and NCCR sponsors today.
You want your company to be the established, trusted employer partner they call first when they have a star graduate.
Not the desperate contractor cold calling them 3 years from now.
Exactly. But see, since that BlackRock-funded labor wave, won't truly mature into fully licensed professionals until the end of the decade, it leaves a massive operational gap for the next 4 years.
Because contractors still have to execute on their current backlog tomorrow morning.
Right. That means you have to extract every possible drop of efficiency out of the crews currently on your payroll. And that immediate burning need for job site efficiency is completely reshaping the venture capital landscape in construction technology.
The shift in investment philosophy is stark, too, because for years, we saw millions poured into highly speculative science fiction-style concepts.
Oh yeah, the flashy stuff.
Yeah, but looking at Smart Business Automator's market intelligence report, 6 context startups recently raised a combined $126 million, and their focus is entirely on immediate, gritty, operational efficiency.
Nothing flashy, just purely functional.
Exactly. We are talking about companies like Filed, which just raised $41 million for AI safety monitoring. Sincera raised $27 million for job site capture. Moab raised $16 million for fleet rental management.
And Para pulled in $15 million to streamline construction payments and lien waivers.
It sounds like investors have abandoned funding jetpacks and are instead pouring capital into building a much better work boot.
The era of the moonshot context startup is effectively over. Capital is now entirely focused on practical tools that solve Tuesday afternoon friction points.
Give me an example of a Tuesday afternoon friction point.
Well, consider the mechanics of Filed's AI safety monitoring. We established earlier that maintaining an EMR below 0.80 is your ticket into the highly profitable data center market, right?
Right.
So if you are still running your safety program by having superintendents walk around with paper clipboards once a week, you're leaving your company completely exposed to human error.
Oh, absolutely.
But an AI system that uses existing job site cameras or drone footage to use computer vision to automatically flag a missing harness or an unprotected leading edge in real time, that isn't just a fancy tech toy.
It's a literal shield for your profit margins.
Yes, and your pre-qualification status.
It's all about using technology as a force multiplier for the project managers and superintendents you already have. I mean, you have to stop having your accounting team chase lien waivers manually through endless email chains.
It's such a waste of time.
It is. Stop losing track of expensive rental equipment because a foreman wrote the return date on a piece of drywall. The market is demanding that mid-market contractors digitize these workflows today to survive the labor shortage of tomorrow.
And if capital is rewarding software platforms that drive efficiency right now, it is naturally also funding the physical tools that will drive job site efficiency in the near future.
Which brings us to a development that is moving rapidly from the prototype phase into commercial viability.
3D printing.
Yes, 3D printing. Icon recently launched commercial sales for its Titan 3D printer. And they're not just taking pre-orders, they are taking $5,000 deposits right now. They're scheduling training for the third quarter of 2026 and planning physical deliveries in early 2027.
And the economics being promised here are what makes this impossible to ignore.
Tell me about it.
So the Titan is capable of printing multi-story structures up to 27 feet high using a proprietary material called lavacrete.
Lavacrete. Catchy.
Right. It's essentially a highly engineered polymer-based concrete mix extruded layer by layer. And they're projecting that this machine can deliver completed wall systems at roughly $20 per square foot.
$20, wow. Because when you compare that to conventional wood frame walls, those are sitting between $28 and $38.
Right.
Or traditional concrete masonry unit block walls running $35 to $55. I mean, Icon is offering a massive 40% discount on wall assemblies.
Yep.
But how does it actually cut costs that aggressively? Is it strictly replacing the framing crew's labor, or are there massive material savings as well?
It is a combination of zero material waste and drastically compressed schedules. Think about it. When you build a traditional wall, you pay for the raw lumber or block, you pay to transport it, you pay a crew to measure and cut it, you pay for the scrap material that gets thrown into a dumpster, and then you pay to haul that dumpster away.
It adds up fast.
It really does.
Yeah.
But the Titan extrudes only the exact amount of lavacrete required by the digital model.
Oh.
There's literally no off-cut waste.
That's incredible.
And furthermore, a single machine operator and a small support crew replace the framing, insulating, and sheathing crews.
Okay, I know the second someone mentions a 3D printed structure, traditional builders instinctively picture the apocalypse for their business model.
Oh, they panic.
Total panic. Let's clarify exactly what this machine does. It is not printing a finished house with a functional roof and working sinks. It's literally just printing the structural wall systems, correct?
That is the crucial distinction. We are not talking about printing a completed turnkey build.
Thank goodness.
All right, 3D printing effectively replaces the wall assembly, which generally accounts for 15 to 25% of total building costs, depending on the design.
Yeah.
Every single other component, the foundational slab, the roofing trusses, the interior drywall, the windows, the doors, the finishes.
They all still require traditional skilled trades to install.
Exactly.
So what does this mean for the MEP trades, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractors?
Oh, it's a massive efficiency boost for them. Because the structure is printed from a digital model, the conduit chases, the plumbing channels, and the electrical boxes are engineered and printed directly into the lavacrete walls.
Wait, really?
Yes. So instead of an electrician spending hours drilling through wooden studs or a plumber fighting with a grinder to channel through traditional CMU block, they're simply dropping their lines into perfectly aligned, pre-printed voids.
That is a game changer. It makes rough-ins significantly faster.
Exactly. The trades that need to be paying very close attention to this shift are CMU block layers and wood framers, particularly those operating in the large-scale production housing and light commercial sectors.
And it's clearly not just a prototype anymore. This technology was highlighted as a top 5 trend at ConExpo 2026, which had over 140,000 industry attendees.
It was everywhere.
And ICON has already validated the system with a $62.8 million U.S. Army barracks contract, plus a massive 60-home development in Austin designed by the Jark Ingalls Group. So if it is 40% cheaper and physically viable today, why isn't every framing contractor out of a job tomorrow morning? What's the actual bottleneck keeping this from taking over the industry overnight?
Prescriptive building codes.
Bureaucracy.
Always. The adoption cycle for local municipal building codes is the primary constraint holding back rapid scaling. Most jurisdictions operate on prescriptive codes, which are highly specific rule books designed around traditional materials like, 2x4 lumber and steel beams.
Right, they dictate exactly how many nails go into a specific joint.
Exactly. So a 3D printed polymer structure doesn't fit neatly into those traditional categories, meaning builders currently have to spend a ton of time and money securing project-specific engineering approvals.
I see.
Now, the 2024 International Building Code update did include alternative materials provisions that help pave the way, but state and local municipalities always lag behind the national standards by 1 to 3 years.
So the actionable advice here for CMU and framing contractors is crucial. Do not put your head in the sand. You need to be actively evaluating print-as-a-service partnerships or leasing models right now.
Do not ignore it.
Exactly. Do not be the contractor who dismissed BIM building information modeling a decade ago as a passing fad and then spent the next 5 years struggling to catch up.
Yeah, you have a 1 to 3 year runway while the local building codes slowly adapt to this technology. Use that time to figure out how your crews will interact with printed structures.
It really all comes down to proactive positioning, doesn't it?
100%. The market is giving you incredibly clear signals. The capital flowing into data centers shows you exactly where the economy feels vulnerable.
And BlackRock's investment shows you exactly what the biggest bottleneck is going to be.
Right. And the shift toward practical AI and 3D printing shows you exactly how technology intends to bridge the gap between that labor shortage and the demand for new infrastructure.
So let's bring all these threads together into a concrete plan for the listener. You've got your 3-year homework assignment. Number 1, audit your sector exposure immediately. If your revenue is entirely dependent on speculative office builds or traditional commercial retail, you are sitting on the wrong side of that 47% backlog divide.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place to be.
Number 2,
Yeah.
focus ruthlessly on getting that EMR below 0.80 and begin the 60 to 90-day pre-qualification process to get into the edge data center market.
Absolutely.
Number 3, connect with your local trade schools and community colleges today so you are first in line for that BlackRock-funded labor wave.
Don't wait on that one.
And number 4, because the traditional planning pipeline is cooling, you need to extend your business development and pipeline forecasting from 6 months out to 18 to 24 months out.
The mid-market contractors who survive the next 5 years won't necessarily be the ones with the deepest pockets.
No.
They'll be the ones who adapt their operational mechanics to fit this new, highly specific landscape.
It leaves you with something truly fascinating to mull over as you look at your own business. If Wall Street giants like BlackRock, organizations that deal in trillions of dollars, complex derivatives, and high-frequency algorithms, are willing to spend $100 million just to ensure there are enough plumbers and electricians to protect their portfolios.
It's nuts when you think about it.
It is. What does that say about the true balance of power in our economy? Are we entering a decade where skilled blue-collar labor, not venture capital and not software engineers, ultimately dictates who actually gets to build, scale, and grow? It turns out the VIP room of the future economy isn't controlled by the guys in the tailored suits. It's controlled by the men and women wearing the work boots.
Well said.
This deep dive on scaling legends and the market analysis we unpack today is brought to you by Smart Business Automator.
If you are actively scaling a construction business, you already know the painful reality. As your field revenue grows, your administrative burden multiplies exponentially.
It's exhausting.
It really is. Smart Business Automator is an AI-powered platform built specifically to stop you, your project managers, and your superintendents from drowning in that crushing wave of admin work.
It is packed with features designed to act as a literal force multiplier for your daily operations. Their smart document organization tool automatically reads, tags, and sorts your job site photos, floor plans, and RFIs, so your team isn't wasting hours hunting through chaotic digital folders.
Such a lifesaver.
Right. It also generates daily log and meeting summaries, instantly turning massive, rambling field reports into clear, highly actionable bullet points.
Furthermore, it features schedule risk detection.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, it's an analytical tool that constantly reviews your project activity and resource allocation to flag potential bottlenecks and labor shortages long before they have a chance to destroy your project margins.
Incredible.
And because every construction business operates uniquely, they offer custom AI workflows that are engineered to integrate seamlessly with your existing ERPs and accounting software. It's fundamentally about giving your existing team the leverage to handle significantly more volume without dropping the ball.
If you gained some valuable insight from this deep dive, please subscribe to Scaling Legends on your preferred podcast platform. Take a moment to rate, review, and most importantly, share this with your leadership team so everyone in your organization is aligned on exactly where the industry is heading. To learn how you can scale your operations without needlessly scaling your overhead, visit smartbusinessautomator.com today.